Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War video. Today, I want to talk about a bunch of campaign as well as zombies teasers that we actually got way back in the day on the zombies map classified in Black Ops 4, because the Pack-a-Punch camos for the map actually are blueprints and within them contain a bunch of information and teasers, a lot of which don't really make much sense. However, since we've gotten the Black Ops Cold War reveal, I think it's good to look back on all of these teasers and analyze them, because I really do think that these are hinting a bunch of stuff that could be happening within the zombies storyline within Black Ops Cold War that, from the official statement, we know is going to be based around the experiments during the Cold War. And obviously from the teaser trailer that we have received, we know that we are going to be playing as the campaign characters this time around. We do see a shot of a Weaver, we also see a shot of a woman that we're not really sure exactly who she is. There is also a shot of when Steiner is killed by Mason, but at the time we thought it was Reznov killing him. However, we later found out it was Mason who actually killed Steiner. He was just brainwashed by the numbers. Interestingly enough, one of the Pack-a-Punch camos on Classified also shows and portrays a Raygun Mark IV and Raygun Mark V. Not only that, but it also shows a prototype Raygun Mark II that's different to the one that we usually saw. Could we be seeing a Raygun Mark IV and 5 in Black Ops Cold War? Because we never saw them throughout the entirety of Black Ops 4's life cycle, but we have a blueprint for them, so we know they're coming at some point in time, surely, but they seem to be some sort of prototype build. Now, these ray guns really remind me of the laser guns, the wonder weapons that we saw on Zombies in Spaceland, so maybe they will play quite similarly to that. Now, the reason why I brought this up and the reason why I think the Raygun Mark IV and Raygun Mark V could be seen within Black Ops Cold War Zombies, I don't know if it's going to be within the map on disc or if it's going to be later on during the DLC cycle, is because Classified is obviously set during the Cold War, and Black Ops Cold War Zombies is similarly set during the Cold War. Now, from the teaser trailer, we obviously see the Nacht Der Untoten stairs, so it seems like whatever map we're going to be seeing on launch with Black Ops Cold War Zombies is going to be an expanded upon version of Nacht Der Untoten, where maybe Nacht Der Untoten will only be the spawn, but it's been greatly expanded upon into a massive map. According to Long Sensation, it's been overtaken by the Soviets as they will be using it for nuclear testing, and you can actually see a nuke within the trailer itself, and maybe they stole these blueprints. Now, another angle that you could take for this is that within the trailer we obviously see that the monkey bomb is returning. Now, the monkey bomb was obviously made by Richtofen for Group 935, and within the Classified Pack-a-Punch camo blueprints there is also a blueprint for the monkey bomb. So essentially the CIA had taken all of this technology from Group 935 and they were working on their own stuff. So I think this is going to be the backstory as to how we are still going to have monkey bombs present within Black Ops Cold War Zombies. It's just going to be a recreation from the CIA. But yeah, judging from these blueprints, I would imagine the regular ray gun is going to be back within Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I mean, it was obvious anyways, it's an iconic weapon. Maybe they could change it up a bit to make it a bit better. So all of these blueprints are from the CIA. They've just taken Group 935's technology. Now, if we actually look at the prototype Raygun Mark II that was created by the CIA, you can see it really resembles the EM1 laser gun that we saw within Advanced Warfare. So I don't know if that is how this ray gun is going to work. That would be pretty cool. And it does mention a cooldown rod on it, so maybe there is going to be a cooldown. Maybe you just shoot a laser similar to the EM1 and then the weapon has to cool down. I believe the EM1 also did that. But you can see on both the Raygun Mark IV and 5 it says unstable discharge and it says prototype raygun, unstable power output. So there is clearly something wrong with these ray guns. They are not functioning properly. So if we get to use them, they're probably going to have some sort of technical difficulty, maybe a cooldown or something like that that we're going to have to work with. Even these prototype Raygun Mark IIs, the CIA clearly didn't recreate them properly. From the main menu of Black Ops Cold War, on the Zombies tab, you can see there is a red CIA stamp. So clearly the CIA are going to go onto this map and try and contain the outbreak. Maybe we're going to have a crew of a Russian, an American, a German, and then one other character, similar to our original Ether crew, where we had a Russian, Nikolai, a German, Richtofen, an American, Tank Dempsey, and also Takeo being Japanese. We do also see on the menu screen that it says outbreak outbreak 8% contained. So there's clearly been a new zombie outbreak because of element 115, and our mission for this map is to go in and contain this outbreak that is happening during the Cold War. Because I think on this Nacht Der Untoten remake, we're going to see the Russians there, the Germans there, and also the Americans. Now, the campaign in Black Ops Cold War, as you guys know, is going to have multiple different choices you can make and multiple different alternate endings. We're not really sure on the exact number, but what if one of the alternate endings actually leads into the zombie storyline? Obviously, we've had the multiverse established within the Etherverse for quite some time, and the campaign stuff does happen to some extent within the different universes. Obviously, there are multiple references to campaign stuff throughout the zombies storyline. Obviously, in Black Ops 1, within the menu, Hudson goes out of the room, he comes back as a zombie within the zombies menu. Obviously, Victor Reznov is referenced on Gorod Krovi as well. Obviously, on 5, the zombie outbreak in the Pentagon happened right after the campaign. There are so many different crossovers between the campaign stuff and the zombie stuff, and we might finally be seeing the campaign characters in zombies this time around. Now, what I'm going to play for you guys right now is a video which I actually made ages ago, talking about these classified blueprints and breaking them down, but this was before Black Ops Cold War was officially confirmed, so you may notice some inconsistencies. However, I think it's good to go over all of this once again and recap it for you guys, because now that we've gotten the Black Ops Cold War Zombies teaser, you can now have a different perspective on these teasers, especially now that we know that Black Ops Cold War Zombies is tied into the campaign. But yeah, I don't see anyone talking about this, but this is really big information, because I think this is going to be pretty much the entire storyline for Black Ops Cold War. It's all right here on these classified blueprints. Obviously, there's a bunch of stuff in regards to the campaign, because obviously classified does take place in the Cold War for starters, so it definitely seems like they could have been alluding at their future game. But there was a post on the Call of Duty Zombies forum which goes over and breaks down this blueprint. Obviously, we know, as I was saying earlier, within the zombies multiverse, the Etherverse, or whatever you want to call it or refer to it as, the campaign stuff does happen in some of those realities, or at least versions of the campaign stuff. And there was a post analysing these Pack-a-Punch documents. I will leave a link to it down in this video's description. It was posted by RadZackPack. So yeah, I really do think that these blueprints on Classified are probably hinting at the storyline for Call of Duty 2020 and or the zombie storyline for Call of Duty 2020. So I'm going to go through this post right now. So essentially, he shows the images on screen and begins to analyse them and break them down. He said, as far as I can tell, the two images are identical, just colour inverted. On the surface, they just look like a collage of campaign intel with some classified and top secret stamps all over them. But if you look more closely, there are some blue markings made by some unknown individual that imply some curious things. He said, I believe it says needs eyes on this ASAP. And the man whose profile is being marked is obviously Jason Hudson, Alex Mason's CIA handler in Black Ops. I can't tell if the writer is someone saying to watch Hudson's move, or if it is Hudson himself pointing out flaws in his profile. Either way, something worth pointing out is that long forgotten was Operation Sharbidis, I probably butchered the pronunciation, a mission that was supposed to take place in 1978 to kill Mason, Hudson, and Weaver as they were deemed dangerous to national security. This, of course, never took place, as we see Mason and Hudson operating in the 80s in Black Ops 2, but it shows Hudson may have been seen as a loose cannon in the CIA. Maybe he's made some enemies. He then shows this, saying this was also written on Hudson's profile, where it states he is a capable soldier with the element of subtlety and finesse are needed. Whoever wrote in blank ink seems critical of Hudson, or at least questions the wording here. So yeah, I think a lot of these documents could be hinting at stuff for Call of Duty 2020, and they may be giving us clues as to where we may be going with some sort of alternate reality type game. He then says this just seems like a simple checkmark over some text about the war in Vietnam. General William Westmoreland was the general at the time, and this text states a base of operations has been set up. Not much interesting here, I think. Here they simply marked a big X over Vietnam, which could be interpreted as a number of things. But yeah, since Vietnam is circled with a red X, it is very well possible that we could be seeing a zombies map set within Vietnam, within Black Ops Cold War. Now, it might not be the map on disc, because from the teaser, it doesn't look like Vietnam. It looks like we're going to be seeing some sort of Nacht Der Untoten remake set within Berlin, an expanded version of Nacht Der Untoten, but maybe we could see Vietnam at a later date during the DLC season. I would love to explore the islands and the jungles on Vietnam. I think that would be a very cool zombies map. So as I was saying, I think these are all clues all the way back when Classified released a year ago now, or over a year ago now, and I think they were hinting at Call of Duty's next move. Now, as this comment points out, maybe we could be seeing another Rising Sun facility located in Vietnam. You can pause this video on screen if you want to go ahead and read this full comment, or check out the link in this video's description because I don't really want to read it all. Here we have a similar X but seemingly over a faded CIA stamp, and this document is dated October 23rd, 1961. This did not seem to be a particularly important date in real life, campaign or zombies, but crucially, this is just after Mason is captured and sent to Vorkuta. The CIA believe he was dead at this point, which will come up later. There is also marked the Roman numerals IV, which pops up a few other times in this image. Here we have Frank Wood's profile, also a member of Operation 4O, with Hudson, Mason, Weaver and Bowman. The blue ink circles Sergeant Frank Woods being referred to as patriotic and writes questionable, essentially questioning whether or not Sergeant Frank Woods is actually patriotic. So clearly someone has beef with Sergeant Frank Woods, which makes sense because he does have a lot of enemies. As I'm reading through this, let me know in the comment section down below if you note anything that this post doesn't cover. I will, as we were saying, leave a link to it down in this video's description, and loads of people have left comments on the post giving their feedback as well, so it's definitely interesting to read through. I really do think that this could be hinting at some of these alternate realities that we could be exploring. Anyways, this paragraph simply mentions McNamara and recon of the NVA's movement in Vietnam. Again, it is marked with IV. Here the words confidential are crossed out and 115 is written above it. This seems juicy, but what does it mean? I decided to look at the original document from Black Ops to see what it is about. For the most part, it simply talks about the war in Vietnam. However, half the document is cut off in the above collage, but at the very bottom of the full document is this text, which you can see on screen. Note, this is only text that contains blacked out confidential information on this whole document. It mentions transporting two things through Vietnam, Nova 6 mixed with 115 maybe. So if you guys are unaware, I think this was partially some of the storyline for Blackout in Black Ops 4, where Nova 6 and 115 were mixed together, and that is what I think the cloud of gas is, some sort of biochemical product. Obviously in the zombie storyline, 115 was mixed with Nova 6 to create the Nova 6 crawlers, which were experimented on with pigs. They spliced pig, human, zombie DNA together with 115 and Nova 6. We obviously see this unclassified /5 with the different Nova 6 containment barrels, and within the Nightmares storyline, Nova 6 and also 115 were mixed together to create a virus, the 6115 virus, through different experiments, and maybe a lot of this stuff to do with mixing elements 115 and also Nova 6 together could be something that could be explored in Call of Duty 2020 storyline that we could see for maybe the zombie storyline, and it might touch upon within the campaign as well. I think that would be an interesting route to take. There was an interesting post by Cal over on here that you can go ahead and pause this video if you want to read for yourself, but I definitely believe that 6115 was indeed the cloud of gas on Blackout, and maybe this could be some of the storyline for Call of Duty 2020 zombies. And he does also reference the GK Nova 6 thing from all the way back in the day within Black Ops 1, and we can see the two zombies' hands there, obviously in the interrogation room from Black Ops 1. And this is all stuff that hasn't really been explored that in depth, that maybe we could see explored deeper within the future. I think that would be interesting. He says, given that 6115 creates zombies and is green in colour, of course gaseous, it seems fairly obvious that it is an amalgamation of Nova 6 and element 115. What's interesting is that in Classified, Dr. Lehman begins to implement procedures devised by Richtofen that involved turning 115 to gaseous state and forcing a living human to inhale it, killing them and creating a special kind of zombie, one that can only obey commands. This is then suggested as a potential chemical weapon. With that, I'm going to leave you with this teaser image from GK Nova 6, and obviously references to take note of the arms all the way back in the day from Black Ops 1. We don't really know exactly what the Blackout storyline is to this date, but this is all very interesting stuff, and once again, maybe this could tie into maybe the storyline for Call of Duty 2020 Zombies that we know very little about at the moment. We just know that it seems to be some sort of spin-off set within the Ether universe in some way, shape or form. I did hear that they were thinking of it being a full-on reboot. Back when Treyarch Treyarch first took over, and a lot of developers were forced over who were previously working on Black Ops 4. They were first brainstorming ideas and they did discuss possibilities of a full-on Ether reboot, but I get the impression that it might just be some sort of side story within the Ether universe as opposed to that. But the thing is, with a multi-universe already established, it means that Treyarch are pretty much free to do anything. So I wonder if they're going to try and go for a more grounded zombies approach where, you know, it could tie into the campaign in some way, or maybe it's going to be set in the same era as the campaign, the Cold War / the Vietnam War. I think that would be interesting to portray, and, you know, it'd be better if we had a more grounded storyline, but we'll just have to wait and see once we start hearing more official information, because right now we're just dealing with leaks and rumors. Anyways, the next thing this post says is, here Project Nova is scribbled through and there is a check mark on some unreadable text. I can't be certain if this means anything. He then says this little excerpt comes from a pretty famous piece of intel that discusses German, Wunderwaffe and Die Glock. This is obviously a lot of the stuff that was important in Der Ries, the zombies map. Obviously Die Glock was a big inspiration for that map with all of the Nazi experimentations that went on, and obviously, well, we all know the Wunderwaffe DG2. This excerpt discusses a uranium club in Germany to weaponize nuclear fission technology, but says it was disbanded in 1942 to pay for the war effort. The text to the top right is tough to read, but I believe it says note number 7 on the same document. The 7th item reads as so. So 7 seems to be very important. It keeps getting brought up. He then says this references the collection of German assets after World War II for research and development, quite likely Operation Stapler, but what does this have to do with the Uranium Club? He then says this paragraph references the mission Project Nova from the campaign. For those that do not remember, Dragovich, Kravchenko and Steiner, along with the other Russian troops, including Reznov and Petrenko, all arrive at a crashed German freighter in the ice, hoping to raid it for its supply of Nova 6, created by Steiner himself. Reznov and Petrenko are betrayed and Nova 6 is tested on them as Dragovich, Kravchenko and Steiner escape. British operatives arrive on the scene trying to capture some of the Nova 6 as Reznov makes his escape, blowing up the freighter as he leaves to prevent anyone from getting the Nova 6. The blue ink person highlighted killed an explosion, possibly because they know that Reznov did not die all along with the people on this ship. Or could they be implying, I don't know, 115 was present and people were not technically killed per se, and obviously were resurrected as zombies instead? Interesting to note. So yeah, I really do think a lot of this could be hinting for either the campaign storyline or the zombie storyline for Call of Duty 2020, if not both. So yeah, maybe we could see some sort of zombies map for Call of Duty 2020 that ties into this boat from the Black Ops 1 campaign. A zombies map could be entirely based around this that we saw in that mission called Project Nova all the way back in the day. I would love to see some sort of zombie storyline that is more grounded and ties into the campaign. We could even play as the campaign characters. I think that would be amazing. Even if we don't play as them, they could be involved in some way in regards to the storyline, or we might just see them within cutscenes. I don't know, but these classified blueprints are very interesting because they do hint at so much, and I really do think that this would be the right way for them to go in terms of a storyline, you know, have it actually linked to the campaign and have it in the same time era, instead of zombies just being a completely separate thing where the storyline is just so far off from the rest of the game. But I don't know, that's just me. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Treyarch have concocted. This paragraph highlighted discusses mutually assured destruction, the notion that two sides armed with nuclear weapons could not fire upon one another as that would mean retaliation, and the end of all life on either side. The paragraph points out that sleeper agents exist in the US, as well as a wealth of Nova 6 from the Shell Corporation, GKM, of GK Nova fame. The blue ink writer places brackets here and writes 115, perhaps 115 may be a part of this sleeper agent plan as well. I would like to hear more from all of the GK Nova experts on this matter from way back in the day, back in Black Ops 1. So that marks all of the instances of blue writing from some unknown individual in 1961. Some other things are noticed, however. Here we have a profile along with a picture of Alex Mason, but his eyes are blacked out. On the surface this may seem like nothing, but again the date marked was just shortly after Alex Mason was sent to Vorkuta and the CIA believed him to be dead. Out of the members of Op 40 on this image, Mason, Bowman, Woods and Hudson, Mason is the only one with eyes blacked out. Something interesting is that the profile behind his picture is not even his. It's a profile of Dmitry Petrenko, Viktor Reznov's close friend and playable character in World at War. So I have no idea why the profile is for Dmitry Petrenko instead. This is really interesting, and I don't know what this all means, but you can try and let me know your theories down in the comment section down below, but this has to tie into the storyline for this game. Anyways, the post goes on to say the last thing that I want to point out is the only direct depiction of zombies in this collage, which is of Shinonuma. Below the same page mentioning Germany's Uranium Club and Wonder Waffen, we know in Classified that the Pentagon was aware of the outbreak in Shinonuma, and it's clearly important to be here. And yeah, that is very interesting. Another thing to bring up is we obviously have this old poster that was in a Raven Software studio ages ago, and yeah, this poster really doesn't make any sense to this day. It's of Sergeant Frank Woods with the Baby Maker, the Wonder Weapon from Shangri-La, and he appears to be in some sort of Vietnam zombies map. Now, I think I know what this is all about, because Shangri-La was originally going to be a Vietnam zombies map, but they turned it into Shangri-La. We actually recently got some leaked concept art for this cancelled, or should I say reworked, Vietnam zombies DLC that ended up just being Shangri-La. So I think the storyline for Shangri-La was originally going to have Sergeant Frank Woods on it, but they ended up changing their plans, and maybe that is something that could be explored within a Vietnam zombies DLC map for Black Ops Cold War, maybe. And also, Sergeant Frank Woods has a Element 115 tattoo, so once again, that is something else that could be explored within a future Vietnam zombies DLC map, now that the campaign and the zombie storyline are intertwining. Also, all of those zombie stuff that I talked about at the beginning of this video in regards to Reznov being mentioned on Gorod Krovi, in regards to Hudson turning into a zombie, all of these things can finally be explored, and we may finally get answers to them. Anyways, as I was saying, this is going to conclude today's video. I might go through all of the comments on the post as well within a future video, because there is even more interesting stuff to go through, but honestly, this video is already way too long, so if you want to read all of that, I'm just going to leave a link in this video's description. This is all very confusing. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below if you have any ideas on what this could mean. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not for latest and greatest Call of Duty news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.